Hello friends, welcome to Tutorials, and in this video you are learning Angular 17, and in this series I will show you what is Angular data binding and what is two-way data binding. In the previous video you have learned what is data binding and how the data we can show from TS file to our HTML component. In this video I will show you how you can flow the data from HTML to TS file and from TS file to HTML component. So that is called two-way data binding. Let me show you with practical example. So here this one is our input file, right? Now below this what I want, just show name property will be full name, and this is called property binding, which I will discuss later. Okay, so property binding normally is inside a square bracket. So we're writing here name then full name, and here we will use our, and that full name we will show here. So whatever we will be typing, it will display here. Okay, now we need to write here event binding code. Actually here will be value full name, and then property binding will be here. So it will be not name, actually it will be full name, input, and this is input, and then full name and this value. Now we need to write the code inside our TS file. In our TS file, simply just let's comment it, and then full name equals to string equal to blank. Okay, so still we are getting error here. It says error occurs in the template object, possibly null. So if we put here, then it says event target error occurs template. So actually the value is not getting casted into HTML element, so we need to update here. Okay, so what we have written here, this is your function and then full name and $any. So why do we use this? When we don't know, when there is a complex type, that means what, when TypeScript cannot infer that what kind of data type it will come, in that case you need to write here any. Okay, or else if you don't write, then it will throw error. So I've written here $any event target and dot value. So now let's run and check in the first name. So here in the first name I am writing my name Umar. You can see I am typing here and it is displaying here. So how does it work? If you give the value, initial value, say Kareem, okay, so what will happen when it loads initially? Then you can see the data is flowing from TS file to our HTML file. That means from model to HTML, means view, from model to view, right? But so that is one-way data binding, from model to view. This value is displaying when the page loads, so it is from model to view. But when we write something, say my name, then what happens? It goes to here and it replaces, and it comes back, the updated value is reflected here through this event.target.value. So this way, and this process is called, and finally we are displaying the data here. So this one is updated, this full name is updated through this event.target.value. So when you type something, it goes to TS file and from there this full name is updated, and finally the updated value you get here. So this is called two-way data binding. But don't you think that this one is a bit complex? So Angular has provided a simple way of two-way data binding, and that is called NgModel. So how that will work? Let's come to the subject. Okay, in subject section here we will write NgModel subject, and just like this, let's show its value here, NgModel, that will be subject. When you do this, you will see this kind of error, cannot bind NgModel since it isn't a non-property of input. So what you will have to do, you have to go to appmodule.ts, and here we need to import forms module, this one. Okay, import forms module, import forms module, second one. Now let's try. Right, so now we will type here some subject, say, okay, it's not reflecting actually, and we are getting error, subject doesn't exist on type. So what we need to do, we need to specify here subject as well, subject string and then blank. So same way, this is subject, we will put here initial value. Okay, so you can see it is displaying here, this is subject, but when you write something it is not updating, right? So here you can see there is problem because subject is displaying here but it is not going inside. But if you check into console, it says that if NgModule is used with a form tag, either name attribute must be set or form control must be defined as standalone. Okay, that means we cannot use NgModel with form tag. So for the time being, let's just comment this because we will use this later with form tag. So now if you refresh, then you can see the data is filled here, and then if you update, then it can be updated successfully. So guys, you can see the difference between this code, this is a lengthy code and big code, but internally this NgModel, here you can see this is one way and this one is two way. So rather than writing this long code and this value code, you can see this is a very lengthy code. So Angular provides a concise way, a short form way, and that is NgModel. So this NgModel works as two-way data binding, and we will be using this NgModel while I will be teaching you the forms module. So let's recap again what happens here. In this case, when you type something, the data is updated and sent to TS file, and finally the data is set here and you are displaying the data here. But rather than writing that long code, you just write a simple code, this one NgModel directive, and then using this you can implement this one. So hope you understand and like this video. Let's meet in the next video, and by that time, bye bye, thank you, see you in the next video.